Good evening and welcome to KITV4 News at 10. We begin with breaking news. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has issued a tsunami advisory for the state of Hawaii after a strong earthquake rocked central Chile. A magnitude 8.3 quake struck about 75 miles from Concepcion, Chile, just after 8:30 this evening, Hawaii time. We turn things over to our meteorologist, Justin Fujioka. Justin, wasn't Hawaii been hit by deadly tsunamis coming from Chile before?
Yes, Paula, and this earthquake, the epicenter of this quake, is within 140 miles from that destructive 1960 earthquake. Here's the epicenter. Again, it happened just after 8:30 our time.
We want to update you on our top story tonight. A strong earthquake that rocked central Chile has now been upgraded to an 8.8 magnitude.
We did speak with Brian Shiro from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center just a few minutes ago.
The tsunami in Hawaii is not going to be bigger than it is there in Chile. So whatever it is in Chile, that's the absolute worst it could be.
Hawaii is in a tsunami warning right now. In about 1 minute, we will be hearing sirens from civil defense and getting further word on what Hawaii residents should be doing.
This basically means now is the time to realize that something is happening. Please turn on your television, turn on your radio. Please stay tuned with us all morning long until this event finalizes. We do have, again, had that tsunami warning in effect. The estimated arrival time in the islands, 11:19.
This is a video that we just shot and is in our studio now. This is of the Pali Safeway. People have, listening to us here on KITV, and they're preparing, getting supplies and stocking up on goods. It's recommended that you have 3-day supply of goods.
This thing, beginning at 11:19, could last well into the afternoon time period. This could be a several-hour event. And these waves don't just wash in and then, oh, pow. I mean, it's a matter of a 5 to 15-minute event. It's like a surge. It's not a wave that Hawaii is so famous for.
This is from 1960. This is 1960,
yes.
The earthquake. Similar situation where there was a massive earthquake generated off the coast of Chile. And I recall seeing those people, of course, of the archive video, seeing those people of Hilo running for their lives. Here's a live picture of Kalakaua and Kuhio. Looks like it's busy this morning at 6:23. Some people are already deciding to leave, and we're also hearing some unconfirmed reports of the businesses, especially businesses that are on the lower levels, that they're already starting to shut down. What are you hearing in terms of how high a wave or waves could be if they hit Hilo?
Well, we're anticipating the arrival of a tsunami at 11 a.m. Based on an 8.8 earthquake in Chile. We have and have been under the preparation that, it wasn't a matter of if, just a question of when. And so we've continuously been running exercises. As you all know, though, this is no exercise.
This is not the time to be gawking at what's going on of Mother Nature's power. This is the time to be preparing. This is the time to be with your family. This is the time to make plans for a possible evacuation. We just got word that the tsunami has reached French Polynesia. This includes much of Tahiti, Papaete there, where waves up to 6 feet have been measured. That's about 2 meters high. They have struck portions of that country, but so far right now we have no reports of damage immediately reporting there. Residents who have been there have been warned throughout the morning, just like us here in the islands of Hawaii.
The best thing to do right now is to, if you're not in an inundation zone, is to stay put where you are and to stay off the roads, because we want to keep the roads open and clear. We were getting word that the fire department was going down into the lower Ewa Beach areas, into the inundation zones, to start kind of letting people know that it's time to get their emergency preparedness kits together, and if they are down in those critical areas, to seek higher ground.
With the amount of lead time we have, and people following directions of state civil defense as well as the police departments on all islands, I believe we are able to evacuate people, and confident we can do it in an orderly fashion as long as everyone follows direction.
Now, KITV4's Dan Meisenzall joins us live from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Ewa Beach. Dan, what can you tell us?
Well, the latest that we're getting here is basically what the governor has been telling you folks. There is a tsunami. It has been recorded. The last buoy in the Marquesas Islands, it's about a half-foot wave in the deep ocean.
This is next to my house. That hedge, that's my hedge. Literally, I came down out of the mountain right about dawn, and already this is what Makila looked like. It is Cars have covered the main roads up there. That is a scene over the water tower up at Makakilo. That's the 900-foot level above. People were telling me they just wanted to feel safe. This is Makakilo Recreation Center, the Makakilo Community Park. As you can see, it definitely looks like a refugee camp.
The color call?
Tsunami warning is in effect. Leave immediately. Do not delay.
It's kind of scary. Like, you know, you've never heard of a tsunami or seen a tsunami before or been in this situation, so it's kind of scary.
You're here at the beach now at 8 or 7:30. What are you going to do later on?
Probably head up to our hotel room, you know, fill our stuff, get our water together and stuff, and watch to see what happens. I can't really go anywhere because they're closing all the streets down.
Some people were actually out surfing, feeling they had enough time to catch a few waves. It was eerie to see Waikiki Beach deserted. They're the Beach Boys packing up all their equipment. They're taking the outrigger canoes to higher ground. They want to be sure those things are safe.
We are now just about an hour and a half away from possibly the first wave hitting the southeast side of the Big Island. Again, this is all because of an earthquake, magnitude 8.8 that struck off the coast of Chile.
We're here on the road at Round Top Drive, where you can see behind me hundreds of cars are lined up. We're told for miles and miles up Round Top Drive. And people, they just get out of their car. They're just spending their time here, biding their time, not knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Do we have any indication that Washington is doing anything about the safety of military bases in Hawaii?
We do have some indications that the Pentagon is working on this today. They are moving ships out to sea as the first item, but they're aware and doing the same thing that they're telling local residents there to do, to move to higher ground. But all levels of government here in Washington are keeping an eye on things.
What it's like here now is everything seems to be kind of shut down. They've closed off the roads. You can't get back down into Honolulu. And starting at 9 o'clock, they were asking everyone to be off the roads.
This is a live picture of Black Sand Beach from Hilo. A lot of people waiting on those shorelines at high ground near those shorelines to take a look, since we are about 15 minutes away.
At this point, we made our way back over the Pali again, and you have just, you know, massive cars parked on the side of the road, as we heard earlier. The Pali Lookout, you know, is blocked off. Do not go to that area. You've just got just tons of cars, crowds that are just, you know, parked on the side of the road. It's very dangerous.
The only indication we're going to get from now until the Big Island is what happens at the Big Island. There's nothing in between. There are no buoys. There are no islands. Nothing else to give us any other indication of what exactly we are about to experience here in the island chain.
It's about 11:05. We're waiting to hear from our reporter on the Big Island to hear back if we've seen any waves there. We're expecting 6 to 7 foot waves hitting generally the Hilo area, mainly because of Hilo Harbor and the bay there.
This is interesting shot there. This is a Saturday midday at Ala Moana Beach Park, one of the most famous beach parks here on the south shore of the island of Oahu.
It's very eerie.
It's very loud now. I don't know if you can hear the siren. I'm going to go ahead and step inside just so that way it won't be quite so noisy. The only sounds out here are helicopters that continue to circle overhead and the warning sirens. They've been sounding them on and off every couple of minutes just to let anyone know that's in the coastal areas to evacuate, to get out of the area.
We're looking at a swimmer right now.
There is a swimmer in the water. That's off of Kapahulu.
Got the beach all to himself.
Probably wondering why he's got the beach all to himself.
Oh, I think he knows. I think he knows.
Oh, boy.
And that also puts rescue personnel at risk if they have to go out and retrieve someone.
We've got some activity going on here in Hilo. Things are starting to really pick up. We've been watching the bayfront, but we're right next to the Wailoa River, and that's a good thing because we were able to see the very first signs of what was going on over here in Hilo. I mentioned before, it looked like the tide was going out earlier. Just a few minutes ago, it looked like the tide was going in, and now it just looks like underneath the surface there's just a river of mud, and the river just looks very active, pouring into the Wailua area.
We're getting emails from all over the world. You know, our news coverage is being broadcast on CNN and on the internet, KITV.com. So a lot of people are keeping an eye on us right now. And let me read you some of these emails. Larry and Margot Friesen from Manitoba, Canada said, "We just wanted to let you know in Hawaii that you are in our prayers."
All eyes are on the river, watching it surge in and out. I've been talking about that all morning because that's the most visible sign of what we're seeing with this tsunami. Well, the latest is the next wave is coming in. It's pretty obvious to see that as we see the water rushing up the Wailoa River. Now, this last time around, we could see a current underneath the water. This time around, we could actually see what looked like maybe about a half-a-foot surf wave kind of wave at the very front of the water rushing up the river. And so we could definitely tell when this water was coming in, when the surge was coming in. And this one just a little bit more powerful than the last one. Not much, but a little bit more. We have seen a few areas of the river, the water starting to overflow its banks just a little bit.
We saw the water, it looked like the tide dropped rapidly. The water level all of a sudden was way down. And we looked out in the channel between the surf break known as Queens and the other one known as Canoes. That's right directly out from the Duke Kahanamoku statue. And we could see it looked like the current was running out, going out. And then all of a sudden the water started coming back up.
We cannot cancel yet, but it's beginning to look like we escaped sort of with the skin of our teeth.
Sir, is there an announcement to be made?
There is an announcement to be made. We have canceled the warning for the Hawaiian Islands.
KITV4 News at 5 starts now.
Yeah, I think we've dodged a bullet. Yes, I think so.
Tonight, calmer waters after Hawaii manages to escape a major tsunami in the wake of a devastating earthquake in Chile. Good evening. Just before 2 p.m., we got the word the tsunami threat was gone, shortly after all counties gave the all clear. From the air, we got a clearer picture of the evacuation to higher ground. Cameraman Rex von Arnswald and reporter Keoki Kerr show us what things looked like from a helicopter as the tsunami surges hit the islands at midday.
The tsunami's surges were so small and gradual they could not be seen from up above, just lots of ocean, surf, and sand. The most dramatic pictures came from onshore at the Pali Lookout, which was teeming with hundreds of evacuees who literally headed for the hills, waiting out the waves from a place where they could watch their potential impact. The Pali Lookout parking lot was overrun with cars and full of people until police closed it off because it was at capacity. Hundreds of others parked their cars in the shoulder lanes and scenic outlooks along the Pali Highway, creating a potential safety hazard, even as they sought refuge from the tsunami. And look at the parking lot of the Pali's hairpin turn lookout in the Kailua-bound lanes of the highway. It, too, was packed with cars parked 3 and 4 deep. Some folks even set up tents to pass the day waiting and watching for big waves that never came. Beaches and shorefronts along evacuation zones were virtually empty. These are pictures you don't see often of Waimanalo and Bellows beaches without one person there on a normally busy Saturday afternoon. In East Oahu, here's what Sandy Beach looked like. Not a bodyboarder or swimmer to be found. At Hanauma Bay, usually full of snorkelers and tourists, the fish weren't bothered by humans this day, but they would have felt the surges underwater. There were only a few people on Waikiki Beach, where tourists and local folks would have otherwise been enjoying a sunny afternoon. The waves rolled in without surfers or swimmers to enjoy them, except for this guy, a surfer who took a risky trip on his board right when the surges made their way to shore. Look how barren the beach was in front of Fort DeRusi, farther down Waikiki Beach. Magic Island was empty as well, an indication that most people heeded the warnings and stayed out of potential danger zones. Hundreds of boats sailed offshore, fleeing harbors and moorings to escape potential damage from the tsunami since they're safer on the open ocean. But still, many vessels remained in the docks at Alawai Boat Harbor. And finally, in all the craziness, we found this whale swimming with her calf just off Mauna Lua Bay in Hawaii Kai. They must have wondered why the ocean currents seemed a bit stronger than normal. Keoki Kerr, KITV4 News.